Welcome to another episode of Tackling a New Kingdom. I am your host, Tank Johnson. And that's the funny thing about today's episode. I wouldn't be Tank Johnson without my guest today, the man who gave me my namesake way back at Evergreen State College. But he was the veteran who took me under his wing at the beginning of my collegiate career. He was an all Pac-10 performer, 2002, the third pick in the fifth round to the Cleveland Browns, but he never made it to camp. And today you'll find out why. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce my big brother, my great friend, Jeremiah Pharms. JP, what's up, brother?
Salute and blessings, brethren. You know, everything is blessed. And I just want to say, man, it's a beautiful thing seeing you do what you do and how you doing it.
I
Straight up.
I love it.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, I believe that adversity should not erase your accolades and all the great things you've done. You were a captain of a Rose Bowl winning defense.
Highest honor.
You are a all Pac-10 performer, and you were drafted. And so, in as Husky legends go, Peter, you are one of the Mount Rushmore legends of Husky football. And so I just wanted to give you your flowers.
God bless Husky football.
That's
You
okay.
feel me?
All
Yes,
right.
sir. You feel
So,
me? What good is a dog if it don't bite? You feel me?
what good is a dog if it don't bite? All
Yeah,
right.
straight up.
So on my show, we tackle things in three buckets. We tackle something current, we tackle something real, and we tackle something controversial. And today, in tackling something current, I want to talk about Hammer Sports, the organization that you put together in California uh, for students to learn and alternative ways to learn. Can you tell me about Hammer Sports and why you started it?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I have a daughter named Mia Moore Farms, man. Ariel Mia Moore Farms. And she's 10 years old now, and we're getting prepared for her to turn 11. But she has she's special needs. She's special needs. She has a trach. She has a G tube. She has seizures and everything like that. So me having a solid foundation in faith, I understand that God doesn't make no mistakes. And what I've seen her do, I've seen her hold the family together. I've seen my children are certified, right, like certified nurses compared to, what I mean, what they do on a daily basis, and it's natural for them. And because of we had to be so hands-on, we decided to the best way for our school, I mean for our children to have schooling was to homeschool them. Because we were always, me and my wife was always together with our child and always there all the time. So we need to have not only for hammers, I want for families to have children like my daughter, I want the parents to be able to have some, I don't want to say free time, but I want them to be able to have some alone time. I want them to be able to have some time that they can regather. Every now and then in life, we need to take some time to regather, muster up our strength, and keep moving forward. So
Mm-hmm.
I want hammers that to be a spot. You feel me for the parents to be able to do that, and in doing so, I want the special needs children to be able to be dropped off at Hammers for a few hours. And while they're there, no matter what the level of their special needs is, whether it's severe, like my daughter's, or whether it's minor, like a child that is really can really be a scholar, but because of his situation or his learning experience or the ways that he learns best, it might be a little different than what everybody's normally used to. But at Hammers, I want to be able to take the time and find each individual way for the kids to learn, man. And that takes time and effort. And at Hammers, this we're gonna give them time and effort.
No, listen, I remember the first calls about it, and just a friend who's a parent who is trying to find a solution for parents with special needs children, who needs, who maybe learn in a little different, in a different capacity, and to see that you are at the forefront, on the front line of trying to find that alternative education. It's just, I think it's just a wonderful thing. So tell me the biggest challenges for trying to find and create alternative education in your community. What are the biggest challenges you have so far?
The biggest challenges so far, is for one, is financial, and we're going, the economical way, we're gonna take care of that, and because we believe in calling on people with good heart and beautiful care in their system. So I believe it takes a village to raise a child. So we're gonna get the village together.
Yeah.
And one of the other things is time, because the most troubling thing sometimes is when you have one special needs child, it's hard to have time to balance everything, especially when you have multiple children.
Right.
So we got to make decision. Me and my wife make decision on who goes to the game and who stays home. Or is it too cold for my daughter out here? Or is it too hot for her out here? So who's going to stay home? Who's going to go? So that's that's one of the things of me understanding. Until I got into the situation, I didn't really understand exactly how detrimental the deaf special needs children can be, and how
Yeah.
the time and effort has caused us to homeschool my other children.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
well, listen, I've seen it on social media. I've seen all the great Huskies, uh, Tony Parrish, and all the guys supporting you. Where can the Tackling a New Kingdom fans go to support this cause? Where can they go, and where can they find you at?
Okay. So you can donate at sudden impact, because we are trying to make a sudden impact in these children's lives. We don't have time to wait, and a lot of these children don't have time to wait. So we need it now. They need support now. They need guidance now. So we are looking for finances right now, because we are looking to open up this 100-yard indoor football facility where a kid, for one, before they even get their training, because none of our kids are going to be leading the league in rushing and failing their math class. So we want the kids to be able to be dropped off at Hammers, as we get some sprinter vans to pick them up from school at 2:33, drop them off at Hammers. They get their tutoring first at Hammers and get their schooling done, and then they get their training done. So by 6 o'clock, they're finished, and they can finally have some family time again in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Listen, the Tackling a New Kingdom family would love to support, and we will pledge $500 to the cause. And if anyone would like to make a donation, it's suddenimpact.org. That's suddenimpact.org. So uh, thank
Salute and
you.
blessings.
Thank you,
Salute and blessings.
JP. And that's gonna be tackling something current, moving along to tackling something real. Okay, your
It get
program that
real. It get real. It get
it's,
real
it's
sometimes. Yeah.
it's about to get real, P. It's about to get
Oh
real.
wait, you feel
So
me? Turn it up. You
let's
feel me?
let's let's do it. Listen, in tackling something real, I want to talk about the story of Jeremiah Pharms, right? Like I said before, like the the good, the adversity that you went through doesn't erase the good that you've done. So I want to talk about all the way back when you chose the University of Washington, out of Sacramento. JP, what made you choose the University of Washington?
I mean, I'm a family person. I'm a family person, man. And at the time, my uncle, Marvin Pharms, he was working for Boeing. at the time, and I wanted to get out of California and see some new things, but I didn't want to go too far away from my family. My mother didn't fly at the time; she was driving to everywhere, so I couldn't leave. I couldn't go too far. You know what I mean? So right up there with my uncle, man, Marvin, that was working for Boeing, like I said, and he's what I knew was a solid foundation and a great example of success and hard work. So, and I listened to him growing up. He gave me a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding in life. So I felt real comfortable to be around him. And Seattle, when I went on my recruiting trip, oh man, hands down, I loved it. I loved it.
Loved it. Okay. So
Yeah.
when you were new on campus, who was some of the veterans that put their arm around a young Jeremiah Pharms?
Yeah, really. The veterans that put their arm around me was like the big boss of the team at the time, Olin Kreutz. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You know what I mean? Olin Kreutz. Um, Tony Parrish, man, you know, he was the quarterback of the defense. So I'm a knowledgeable guy and I always loving raising my knowledge out there on the field. So I went to TP for a lot of things. And Jason Chorak, the hard work, dedication, and flat out on game day, the psychological being of no matter who's out here, I am not going to be stopped. Oh man, I ate that up when I seen that from Jason Chorak. We just gonna go out here and just play harder than everybody. You feel me? So
Yeah.
it was right up my alley. I loved it. Here, salute, right? Here, let's
Yeah.
get to
I
the
mean,
quarterback. Here,
yeah,
yeah,
man. It's a meeting at the quarterback,
meeting
and
at the quarterback.
one of the things that we're talking about today in sports is how much money these young athletes are able to obtain at a young age. I mean, you've got the kid Nico in Tennessee getting 9 million. You had the debacle at Florida State with the kid who ended up, he had $13 million to go to Florida State. It didn't come to fruition, and then he ended up at Arizona State with absolutely $0. Now, back in our day, we didn't have these NIL deals, and so there was kids doing different things to get money and to pay their bills and send money home and do all of those things. So can can you talk to me about the situation that landed you in prison? Because so many Huskies know you're their favorite dog, and they kind of know the story, but they don't know it. So first of all, tell me about why was it at the time that athletes had to do extra things away from the field to earn money? Why was that?
I mean, God bless the NIL. And I'm pretty sure when they adapted to that opportunity, I'm pretty sure there were less kids getting in trouble. I'm pretty sure there was a lot more families being taken care of in college, which is a great thing. But you know, when we was there, that $750 a month, it wasn't really doing too much for us. You know what I mean? It
Okay.
couldn't barely pay rent. And it was set up to where, say, if we're teammates and okay, let's live with each other. You know what I mean? We got two or three of us living in a house. We can all afford to pay $250 a month and split it up. You feel me? Then maybe we can make it. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
for a person like myself that had his own children and family and everything, and these family guys that have their own children that don't have no roommates with themselves, the 750 really is not enough money.
Yeah, no, it's not enough money, and it that that very dilemma is the reason that they've changed these rules. And I know now that it's tough to to make the right decision all the time as a young person with responsibilities. And you ended up getting
Champion, bring me a charger.
you ended up getting drafted to the Cleveland Browns in the third round. But before you could go to that camp, you were picked up on a case. Can you go back to that day and tell me what that experience was like?
Um, man, yeah, the charger's in there. Let me see it. So when I was riding. I was in Sacramento. I was 2 days away from leaving for camp. And I had 2 more days till I got that signing bonus and my whole life changed, man. You feel me? So I was working out, doing my little off season workouts, going to play hoop on the field and everything. And they caught me. It's in the living room. They caught me, and they came and got me, man. And man, reality is reality. And a lot of times we don't have time to worry about, okay, if this happens, then we always say, if this happens, then I'll do this. If this happens, then I'll do this. But and how real life go, when things happen, we got to react right now. We got to do it right now. Has to be done right now. Life is changing right now as we speak. There is no time to think about it. So I was taking a blow. I was taking a blow, and the blow, you feel me? The blow was tough, but I was taking it, and that's just what it was.
Yeah, you know, when I was in school and you and I got really close, and I would spend after the games at your house, your beautiful family would cook that post game gumbo for us for whoever walked through that
Yes,
door.
sir. God bless
Uh,
Miles, man. God bless
yeah,
Miles. You remember she
yeah,
used to show up with the suitcase from sack full of crabs and meats. Yeah, yeah,
man, she had it, man. She had it on lock, man. And I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I just remember that like when prior to you ultimately turning yourself in, you went on the run for a little bit, and I can just tell you my emotions at that time was it was like I had lost a brother and and a father figure who was leading me, and before you turned yourself in, I was the last person that you went to go see, man. Can you tell me about what you remember about that day, man? Because that was probably one of the more special days of my life. You coming to visit me before all of that.
Yeah, man. Because sometimes you know what I mean. A lot of times, no matter what's going on, and that's the difference between. I tell people about a good person, a bad person, somebody that's ready to change or ready to learn or seeing things in a better manner. But you know how it is. You know how I felt about you as my little brother, man. You know all the knowledge and the way that I was steering you to do right and go to the league and everything. But like our mama say, yeah, don't do as I do, do as I say. But
Yeah.
a lot of those things, man. And so when I was on my way up there, I want to make sure that I want to just leave a word with you and a fire. You feel me? And sometimes a fire for me, being captain of the defense my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I never wore no visor. I never wore no visor because I needed to look at my men in the huddle, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I had to come see you that last day because I want to look you in the eyes. I want to look at you in the eyes, and I know that you felt pain, and I know as a lot of those did that love me during that time. You feel me? I know that you felt pain and sorrow and everything, and I just want to let you know that everything was good. And no matter what, like I say to this day, out of everything that I learned, if you are ever in any kind of darkness, you must keep going. You hear me? You must keep going. And you must keep going, like I'm telling these kids. That's why my thing is called hammers. In football and in life, you are either the hammer. And no matter what, if you ever any kind of darkness, you must keep going. And the only thing that matters is how much you believe in yourself. You know
but
what I mean?
but that right there is what I felt when you came to visit me that day, because you're worried about your brother who's going into a gladiator camp with a lot of hardened criminals, and the JP that I know ain't going for no play. So I knew that
Love, peace, and all the blessings.
if you didn't go into that place with the right mindset, it was gonna be bad, like off top bad. And so for me to know that you were going in there with the at least the right mindset, right? Like you weren't you weren't flustered. It was like your time, that brief moment that you went away, you got all of your affairs in order. And when I saw you that last time, I felt like you were ready to accept what was gonna happen, but you had a plan. and and I know you know you did like a training camp in there, and you came out mind, body, and soul, and you just so happened to come out right when I was going to the draft. Man, dog, I remember I heard you was out, and there was only one person in the whole city who had your number. And I came to see you, man. And that reunited moment, P, that was probably one of the most special moments of my life, was seeing you come out the other end as a better person.
Hey man, hey man, that story was years ago, and I done found a way to tell that story every month to one person at least every month for every month that the past since that day happened, man. And you, man, I'm not gonna say you amazed me that day because you was my brother, but what it did for me is it revamped me, man, like a mug. Like, man, that's what brotherhood is about. That's what love is about. That's what respect is about. Because I was at the halfway house, and I wasn't even supposed to have no visits. And you knocked on the door, and it was like no visits. So you knocked on the door, like I need to see Jeremiah Pharms, and the brother that was at the front gate, you feel me? And they said, "Hey man, Tank Johnson is outside demanding to see you, man." And I'm telling us there's no business right now, but he's not listening. I said, "Man, let him in, man." You feel me? Hey, and I just want to say, man, you feel me? You was a solid, good dude and deserve everything and all the accolades that you done got and what you're going to get even further when moving forward because you was a solid, good dude. A lot of people don't know that. And I'm going to put it out there, man. You came in there and you brought me trash bags full of clothing, and I didn't have nothing. Brought me trash bags full of clothing. You bought me shoes, gang of pairs of shoes. You feel me? And also, as soon as I released the $10,000 and I bought my car to drive back to California, I said I have a kid's car. They gave me 10,000. I went and bought me a bourbon. You feel me? With hella seats. And drove back to Sacramento. You feel me? So salute and blessings to that. You feel me? And and you honorable. You honorable. And that's why it's an honor for me to be sitting here with you doing this podcast, man. Because I love what you're doing. It's respectable.
Man,
Straight up.
like always, I've had my adversity, and I've been able to come out on the other end, and I believe that there's so much growth, in adversity, and it's unfortunate that we have to go through it. But I know how much I've learned. I've seen how much you've learned, and it doesn't erase the fact that you are a Husky legend. You are a Rose Bowl champion, a
God
starter
bless.
and
God
a
bless.
captain. And one day, I think the University of Washington is gonna put all the BS aside and celebrate Rick Neuheisel in that 2000-2001 Rose Bowl. So
Yeah,
that's
man. He's the best players coach I ever been around. Straight up, man. Dude
Rick
is a good
Neuheisel.
dude.
He's a friend of the show. So that my
Man,
that
solid Rick on
yeah.
everything. The best players coach out there, period.
Period.
Hands down.
Uh,
Hands down.
well, that you don't get no realer than the story of me and JP's friendship. So that is tackling something real. And now to tackle something
Mm.
controversial, JP, um, part of your Hammer Sports program is mentoring. And right now, I've spent two shows talking about this Ja Morant kid. It almost seems like every week of my show, something else comes out about Ja Morant. He was caught with guns. He was fighting. He was doing that, and I saw Steven Jackson of the NBA and Matt Barnes. They did something like an open letter to Ja Morant. So I want to give you and Hammer
Would
Sports
love to
the
say.
the opportunity. If you could talk to Ja in an open letter, what would you say to Ja Morant?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say salute to you, young brother. You feel me? Get at me too. I'm at Hammer Sports, man, because we need to talk straight up. And I got you. But understand, young brother, that you are a king and you know that you are special and you know that you are a little more wired than everybody else, but that's why you can cross over everybody else and take off like a monster. You feel me? Because psychologically, you're on a different level than everybody. But being special, that's called being special. But being special, we have to be careful. We have to be careful on the direction of what we point our specialness to, because you know that you are different. You know that you are a leader. And I'm pretty sure the pressure's on you. You take care of everybody that you know. You feel me? But as far as the guns go, leave them at home, homeboy. Take care of your family and leave them at home. Because when the body gets mad, and if a man hasn't experience is the best teacher. That's why nowadays we can consider ourselves geniuses now. You feel me? Experience is the best teacher. But I've experienced it, young brother. And what I don't want, what I don't want is what you to see what the other side of the fence is. And that's the blessing. That's the reason why I'm on the show now today. And that's the reason why there is a Hammer Sports, is to make sure none of the young brothers have to go see and experience what I had to go experience. Because you don't get, just like you don't get treated fairly when you do something you all over in the news, you don't get treated fairly when you go to the other side also. You get tested by everybody. And yeah, you're going to always stand up to your test. You're going to always stand up to your test. You're going to always back down. That's the reason why you're one of the leaders in the NBA, because of those particular reasons. But we have to understand, because I seen the other side, bro. And the 18-year-olds, when I be leaving and transferring to a different prison, and the eight, because all I ever been was captain of the defense. And when I went there, I was captain of defense because I love my brothers and I love the good people, man. That's no matter where we are. I find good people and I connect with them. So, young brother, connect with me, man. And you don't want to be like, I'm telling you, the 18-year-olds that I look at and they say, oh, big homie, I'll never see you again. But they have life in prison. They have life in prison because pulling a gun went too far. You feel me? And everybody that I know that used that gun, I talk to them and they're never coming home again. All of them wish they didn't do it. All of them wish it didn't happen. And all of them wish that they could have a way to tell the young brothers not to end up like they ended up. But I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. And not only just him, I want to talk to his homeboys, because his homeboys, the one that reap the benefits of their homeboys' hard work, you feel me? And all the glamour and the glory and the glitz, it's y'all job to help him. It's y'all job to protect him. It's y'all job to take care of him. There's no way that he should have no gun. There's no way that he should be involved in any negative bull. You feel me? You use the brother not only for his money, but you use the brother to elevate yourself and you elevate each other. Steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, but you have to do something to make sure that the brothers is all safe, period. So,
Man,
so stay safe, my bro. Stay safe, bro. Straight
bro,
up.
that was so perfect from the owner of Hammer Sports. Uh, Collectively, as elder statesmen getting up there in the sports world, I'm looking back for that Tank Johnson, that, Ja Morant. And when I was going through my adversity in the league, um, it, what's crazy is I really didn't pay attention to the media as I was going through my arrest and going to jail and all of that. But I know that if another athlete, an elder athlete, like Gary Sheffield reached out to me in Seattle and became like a mentor to me, and I became accountable, just because I didn't want to let him down. So I know that Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, Tank Johnson, Jeremiah Pharms, that message is gonna get to Ja Morant. This is a new day, and
Yeah,
I,
man.
I I hope
Yeah.
that he takes heed and understands that everybody who's trying to give him words, don't listen to what they, how they say it. Listen to what they say, because sometimes these young kids, they get turned off if you come at them direct.
Yeah.
You gotta you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta
Yeah.
hit
You
them.
got you got spoon feed. You got spoon feed it to
Gotta, yeah.
him.
It's a
Feel me?
it's a new
You
day.
got you got to be careful, man. You got to spoon feed it to him. All right, young brother. You feel me? You feel me? So, Marat, young brother, man, holla at Hammer Sports, because we here for you. Because let me tell you, man, no matter how big and bad we think we are, man, I know that big and bad myself, they done tested the flexibility in my shoulders so cold. And I know what it's like to be hog in a cell by yourself, man. You feel me? And I remember the day that I was hog tied in a cell by myself and I had to use the bathroom.
Mm.
You feel me? And I told myself, you know what? This is it. You feel me? Because ain't no way in hell I can have myself in a situation like this. You feel me? You feel me? I, I can't even use the bathroom and I want to. You feel me? So, brother, you feel me? Moran can holler at me. You feel me? Yeah, man. And not only you'll get right, but how you want to get right is by helping other brothers. And Hammer Sports, we're gonna make sure that none of us don't lose. Don't lose. This is our way to get to
All
not
right.
lose, man.
Well, I have now dedicated two controversial segments to Ja, so I really hope he hears this and takes heed. So, JP, we're going to get you out of here on rapid fire. Do you remember your best football game at any level? Tell me what that game was.
My best football game is crazy. You asked me that, but that best football game that I remember, I don't even remember any of the individual plays of this game, but I remember Miami when we were sitting in that room and Miami came to University of Washington and Rick Lewis was doing his pregame speech and all you heard was boom, 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 come out of there, Husky dog, boom, boom. They was kicking on our door.
Ooh.
They was kicking on our door, telling us come up out of there as they was passing us in the huddle. Oh man. I remember, I think it was Sam Blanche that stood up and said, F Miami, man. And we went crazy of the disrespect. We was kicking the doors, rushing up out of there, and we rushed up out of that tunnel and we jumped up on them 21 nothing and never looked back. But we didn't care who was out there. The disrespect, oh man, they had a chance until they did that. But we tapped that ass that day.
Off
You
top.
feel me? Yes,
Who
sir.
who is the best college football player you've ever played against?
Okay. For one, I got the best college player, you feel me, that I played against was Ryan Leaf. You know what I mean? The boy was out there calling his own plays. You feel me? And if he didn't cover the A gap stuff, he was just going and just take 4 yards real quick and dive forward for 4 yards. You feel me? But the best, the best, the best game, yeah, that was the best quarterback was the best player was Ryan Leaf. But I have to say this that in the Rose Bowl, and I never heard this before the Rose Bowl, I was chasing the out pattern, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Drew Brees' ball, the spiral was so tight, so hard that the ball was whistling. I swear to God, that ball was, yeah, the ball was whistling. It went by my hair. I was going out to the out pattern, and they did a couple of times. I didn't really recognize it until the second, third time. And I came back to the huddle. I came back to the huddle and said, "Hey, y'all, we gotta get there, man. This fucking ball is whistling." You know what I mean? So, you feel me? Yeah, yeah. So he wasn't playing out there, man. You feel me? So it's real. Yeah.
Okay, so who's your favorite coach of all time?
My favorite coach of all time is Coach Hart. You feel
Randy
me?
Hart. Randy Hart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I should have listened to him whole lot more because he told me earlier in his career, earlier in my career, JP, in order to get yourself out of hole, you got to stop digging.
Thank you. And that's crazy you said that, because my next question was, what was his favorite advice? And in order to get yourself out of a hole, you got to stop digging.
You gotta stop digging.
Jeremiah Pharms, you have came, you have saw, and you have tackled a new kingdom. Thank you for being a guest on my show.